Welcome to another episode of VIVR, Visually Impaired Virtual Reality. This week I want to talk about Euro Truck Simulator 2. Now I know this game isn't a made-for-VR game, but it just works so well in VR that I wanted to do an entire episode about it. I think out of all of the VR games that I have tried so far, this is the game that I've spent the most time in. To be honest, I played this game before it was VR ready, and while it was obviously a high-quality game that the developers put a ton of time into, it didn't hold my interest. But in VR, it's amazing. It's immersive, it's gorgeous, it's relaxing. For me, it's got it all. So for those who don't know, basically in this game you're a truck driver, obviously, and you take on jobs as a freelancer, which have you driving up and down various beautiful countrysides throughout Europe that are based on real locations. You make a little bit of money from each job, and then you use that money to upgrade your truck little by little and eventually buy a company. Okay, I will warn you. I guess for some people it does get a little bit repetitive. For me, I find it to be just the right amount of grinding. I like my games to be a little grindy, so I guess I have a higher tolerance for that. If you're not crazy about games that have you doing similar missions or similar quests over and over again, no matter how fun those quests are, then you may not enjoy this game. Don't get me wrong, the experience doesn't feel repetitive because each time you're going to a new place, and because the environment is so immersive and the music is so cool, it doesn't even feel like you're doing the same thing. But technically, I guess you are kind of doing the same mechanic over and over again, so it could be repetitive for some people. I did not have this problem. Now, on to the VI side of things. I didn't encounter any issues with this game whatsoever. The menus can be hard to read, but because it's on the Vive, you can stand up, you can walk as close as you need to see each menu. You can even adjust your controller so that your center of vision is actually closer to all the menus than a non-VI player's might be. Driving can be tricky, I guess, but I didn't have any issues. I really enjoyed it, and there was nothing that I wasn't able to do. One thing I did find to be a bit of a bummer was that when you play, it doesn't project the image onto your external monitor. Now, if it's just you playing by yourself, that's no big deal, but if you're playing with somebody who wants to see you driving, or who might want to help you, or give you pointers, or just generally hang out with you, it's just not possible right now. I've been asking on the forums about this feature for months, but it's just not a high priority right now. That said, if you're playing by yourself, I didn't notice any issues whatsoever. It was awesome, and I always wanted to be a truck driver, so this game was really great for me. It feels realistic. I play it with a controller personally, but you can play it with a keyboard, or if you really like it, you can even buy a gaming steering wheel. Now I'm going to share with you a unique experience that I had as a VI player wanting to share my game experience with someone in the house with me. As I mentioned earlier, the game doesn't project onto your external monitor, so it's limited to your VR headset. The only way around this that I was able to find was by downloading a program called OBS. OBS is called Open Broadcasting Software. Basically, it lets you stream your gaming or whatever you have on your monitor to sites like YouTube, or it just lets you record it to a video that you can save on your computer. So what it did basically was it forced ETS2 to mirror whatever was showing in the headset in spite of itself. It would just take a raw and direct feed from the headset and show it on the monitor. Not totally optimized, it was in a window, but still, it worked for what I was trying to do. After that, I set that window to always be on top, put on my headset, and played as usual, and it did show on the monitor. The only problem was it showed a mirror image because it was taking it directly from the headset, so everything was backwards. It wasn't ideal. So we had to set up a mirror next to the computer so that the person with me could look at the mirror to see what I was doing and give me driving pointers. A bit of a long workaround, but ultimately, it was possible, and if you're playing alone, it's not even an issue for you. Now, even in the off chance you do have difficulty reading some of the menus, and for whatever reason you're not able to see them in VR, you always have the option of taking off your headset, booting it up in 2D, and getting as close to your monitor as you need to see what you need to see so that you can do the right things in VR. This isn't an option in every VR game, so I was happy to see that it was possible in ETS too. Okay, well that concludes another episode of VIVR. As always, if you have any questions or comments, you can email at vivr@ddbluezero.com or visit us on Facebook at VIVR.